And more talks in 10 days. For reaction now, joining us from Jerusalem is Naftali Bennett, Israel's Minister of Economy and member of the Security Cabinet. Minister Bennett, welcome. Good to see you today. What do you think about the breakdown in talks and what potentially could happen in 10 days when they get back together?
The only deal that we need to be seeking is a deal that would totally dismantle the nuclear weapon production machine in Iran. I want to be clear, in 2006, Iran had only 164 centrifuges, and the UN Security Council said that they cannot add even one. Now they have, Eric, 18,500 centrifuges that are spinning, so they continue breaching. What we need is to dismantle these 18,500 centrifuges. Otherwise, in one future day, they'll turn it on and they'll take off to have a nuclear weapon. So I want to be clear, we don't want to pause the production. We want to dismantle their entire production machine.
Well, that's not even part of the deal at the moment. It's only to potentially suspend for 6 months. Look, no indication on what they're going to do with the plutonium production over at Iraq, that facility. No indication on what they'll do with the underground facilities, as well as the plutonium that they could produce and the uranium that they've already produced. I mean, one estimate says they potentially could have a breakout for a bomb within a month or so. So, Minister Bennett, what do you do when all that stuff's not even on the table?
Well, Eric, you're absolutely right. The proposed deal is a very bad deal. I want to be clear. Today is the time to stop a potential nuclear 9/11. If one day, God forbid, in the future, a nuclear suitcase blows up in New York or a nuclear missile hits Rome, Paris, or Tel Aviv, we'll be able to trace it back to these days where a bad deal is being prepared. The deal needs to be the original deal, which is to dismantle their entire machine. And right now, it's not even being discussed. Now, we have to understand, Iran's on the floor like in a boxing match. They're under tremendous economic pressure. If we just don't let up, if we just keep up the pressure, they'll have to dismantle the entire machine. So the referee is counting 6, 7, 8, 9, and now instead of holding up and, in fact, increasing the sanctions, we're picking them up from the floor and reducing all of the sanction regime. This is a big mistake. We have to continue the pressure, and by doing that, we'll avoid the need for any potential physical attack on Iran.
You say physical attack on Iran, the potentially would be Israel attacking Iran. And what do you say to those who say that that is not at all a potential scenario and is the worst possible outcome? And negotiations the only thing that could try and talk them out of this disputed nuclear program.
No, the worst outcome is for Iran to have a nuclear bomb, because that bomb will find itself somehow to the West, and it might take a year, it might take 3 years, but ultimately it'll happen, and Western lives will be at risk. So that's the worst outcome. Israel in the past, in 1981, we bombed Iraq's nuclear facility, saving the entire world from an Iraqi bomb. In 2007, Israel allegedly bombed Syria's nuclear facilities, taking out Syria's nuclear capabilities. Israel can protect ourselves, and we will protect ourselves. We've never asked anyone else to protect us. We can do it if necessary. The right approach, though, right now is for the Western countries to stand firm and insist that Iran dismantles their entire program. That's the only outcome that would benefit us. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves in a North Korea situation where they have a breakout time of 4 or 5 weeks. No one can stop that. Now is the time to prevent a nuclear 9/11.
Well, there's a very tough editorial in the Investor's Business Daily. I want to read it to you very briefly about the potential for this. It is called "A Deal Forcing Israel's Hand." An impending deal to ease sanctions without real concessions from Tehran over its nuclear program virtually assures that Israel will bomb Iran. This is a crisis that should have been prevented years ago without being required to dismantle even a single uranium centrifuge. Economic sanctions will be lessened on Iran in the hope that these Islamo-fascist fanatics see it as a gesture of goodwill from the great Satan. If in 10 days from now they do have a deal, would Israel be pleased with that, or do you think that there may only be one option that potentially could be a military option?
No, we believe that the best outcome would be a deal, but a good deal which dismantles Iran's capabilities, not leaving them with the breakout option. Right now, that's not where we're headed. Fortunately, France and other countries stopped the train and they managed to prevent this very bad deal. And I want to remind you, it was America who said that we're better off with no deal than a bad deal. Right now, the negotiated deal, the suggested deal, is a very, very bad deal.
All right, and 10 days to go, and Minister Bennett will be coming to the United States to potentially press what you just heard here on the Fox News channel to U.S. officials. Mr. Bennett, thank you so much for joining us, and we will stay in touch with this
Eric,
very
thank you very
vital
much.
issue. Absolutely.
Thank you.